Hello everyone, I'm back with another Reddit Addicts episode. If you find my videos entertaining, please kindly subscribe and like them. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and kind notes. Now, let's get started with today's exciting stories.
I forced my wife to go to a party and now my marriage is ruined. Me and my wife, Kay, have been married for 4 years now. We had an arranged marriage, but so far we have had a good marriage and a strong bond. I love her and would do anything for her in the blink of an eye. Before we got married, we decided that we will have our own individual space and we don't have to tell each other everything unless we feel the other person should definitely know. The arrangement went well for years. I didn't have much to hide or to tell. But she did. When I met Kay for the first time, she was a very conservative person and a bit too devoted to religion. She told me that she wasn't a good person in the past, but since then she has tried to be a good person living a moral life. She told me some details about her past and how she was a wild girl in college and had several relationships and partners. Even after we got married, she would tell me some details about her past, but I never pressed to get details. She always refers to her college self in the third person, and whenever she talks about her past, she always says that her college self is a horrible person. Since then, she has been more devoted to religion and is quite different from her previous self. I have seen some pictures and videos, and Kay is nothing like that person today. Kay doesn't have a lot of friends and mostly spends her time praying or with other religious stuff. I am the only person she shares her thoughts with. A few months ago, out of the blue, she got a call from her best friend from college, R. I saw Kay light up after talking to R. Kay felt so happy after reconnecting with R, and R invited her to a party at her place. R also called up their other friends from college. Kay was conflicted about going to the party. I convinced her to go, saying the worst that could happen is that she has a boring night. Kay asked me to come along with her. Even during the drive, I was thinking about getting some embarrassing and funny stories about my wife from her friends. When we reached R's place, I realized why Kay was conflicted. Kay was dressed very conservatively, light makeup and very little jewelry. Her friends from college were the exact opposite. They were dressed like tweens, going out to party all night. The night started normally about the girls sharing funny tales, but the stories quickly became raunchy and then horrifying. I found out Kay and R were the leaders of a group of mean girls. They slept around, abused alcohol and drugs, and on occasions ruined people's lives. Kay stepped away to go to the bathroom when the group turned to me and told me stories about my wife. R talked about Kay sleeping with most of the professors at their college, which I did know about, but wasn't aware the number was that high. R purposely told me about how Kay and R systematically gaslight a woman into believing that she is a lesbian and ruined her marriage because her husband had rejected Kay's advances. And all the girls found this incident to be funny. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't find Kay. I went to the bathroom to look for her and found her curled up in a corner crying. I picked her up and left immediately. The entire drive back Kay was sobbing and kept repeating, "I am sorry." She was inconsolable for days, and then she threw herself into religion hard. She started praying for 6 to 8 hours every day. Her daily prayers and rituals usually took 2 hours. I thought that giving her space would help her heal, and she would talk to me whenever she is ready. We haven't talked much since then. She still cuddles up in bed but doesn't say anything. Last week, she told me that she has decided to be celibate for the rest of her life to repent for her former sins. She asked for my support and apologized for springing it on me. She has told me to leave her if I can't live a celibate life with her. I have tried talking to her about trying therapy, but she is adamant on her plan. I ruined my near-perfect life by forcing her to go to that party. Update: I ruined my marriage by forcing my wife to go to a party. Last night when we got into bed, I told her I love you and I will wait for you to be ready for me. At the time, I wasn't even sure what I meant, I just had to talk to her. Her eyes swelled up with tears, I can tell she wanted to wail and scream but was holding back. She grabbed me and didn't want to let go. She whispered, I love you. We held each other for the rest of the night. In the morning, I asked if she would just talk to a therapist. I assured her I would try to support her decisions either way. She agreed and kissed me. We hadn't kissed in almost 2 months. I thought my wife was back. But a few minutes later, she texted me from the kitchen, my celibacy doesn't have to mean yours. You are free to leave me. If you want to stay, I will not interfere with your physical needs. It killed me reading the text. We haven't said a word to each other since then. Update 2. I ruined my marriage by forcing my wife to go to a party. Kay started therapy thanks to the efforts of some members of her religious group. She will need a lot of time and I don't know if I will ever get my wife back. Everyone keeps telling me that she will get better soon, but I am not sure if she would still be my wife when she does. Even if she does come back, I have heard things about her past that make it very hard for us to just continue our relationship. Some details make me feel that Kay doesn't deserve happiness. For now, I will support her to help with her recovery, but I am not sure what happens after. Next story. I, 36F, am unhappily married to a cheater, 33M, who I've recently begun cheating on with my best friend, 37M. About 8 months ago, I found out my husband was cheating on me. He's a musician and very handsome, so of course in bar gigs the women like him. We have a 6-year-old daughter, so many nights I can't go watch him play. I had my suspicions as he started coming home much later than normal, or coming back the next day if he drank too much. But my suspicions weren't confirmed until a woman came pounding on my door. One of the women he was cheating with, there were 3 women, one of them turned out to be a stalker. She slashed his tires, and he now has a restraining order because of multiple death threats. If he was from the US like me, and a citizen, I would have divorced him already, but I don't want my daughter not having a father. She loves him very much, and aside from cheating on, and disrespecting her mother, he treats our daughter like she's his world. I want him out, but without me he's likely going to be thrown out of the country. In the beginning I wanted to fix this. He is trying to be better, showering me with affection, being very apologetic. He even stopped playing live shows and took a musical engineer's job to get away from that life a little. But it all became too much for me, and I couldn't forget or forgive what happened. For 4 months I didn't tell a soul about what he did. I didn't want to look like a fool and didn't want our family living in the shadow of this for forever, so I kept it between us. Needing to talk, I contacted an old friend of mine who I only knew from the internet and didn't know anyone in my circle. We've been friends for a decade and met as a part of a creative online community. The connection I have with this man, we're like soulmates, and I could talk to him all day every day, but it was never romantic. I knew he was divorced and wanted to both vent and ask his advice on how to proceed with mine, or what he would do in my shoes. He was my shoulder to cry on and was very supportive of me, and recommended things like marriage counseling, or talking to my family. He was under the impression that I wanted to remain married, so he spent about a month or so trying to help me fix my marriage. I never told my husband any of this. After a couple of months, I and my friend are talking on a daily basis, and I find myself in constant contact with him. Out to dinner with my family, I'm still texting him. Still nothing sexual or romantic. My husband is still trying to fix things, but at this point it just feels like he's some stranger who lives in my house. I'm the breadwinner. I start having feelings for my friend. Then one day friend mentions he'll be near my town to see family and offers to take my family out to dinner. He intended to take me, my daughter, and husband out, and that's when I told my first lie. I didn't want my husband around because I don't ever really want him around, but just smile pretty and act like I'm okay for my daughter's sake. I told my friend my husband took my daughter somewhere else that evening and that I would meet him for dinner myself. Everything escalated so quickly. In the span of 45 minutes, we went from entirely platonic friends who never so much as flirted with each other, to him fucking me for 5 hours until I was brain dead. I then ugly cried in his arms for another hour as it felt like everything that happened kinda crashed onto me all at once. Not to mention the guilt for what I did. Because I did not want to be the sort of person who cheats like this. I love my friend. I have stronger feelings for him than I've had for any other man in my life. I know I need to end my marriage. It'll only get more toxic from here if things continue, but my God, is this a mess? How do I even start getting out of this?
We hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And before you go, please be sure to subscribe for more.